Was it a big game?
It was a big game. Yeah, it was. It definitely was. If they were all that fun, I'd want to coach forever. You know, if every game was like that, I think I would, gosh. Really, really, really proud of our guys. I thought it was just an incredible effort. And before I forget, you know, so many times I come in here and, you know, I'm always the one talking or whatever, but you know, there's a lot of people working really hard on our staff, and they do so much behind the scenes. And I want to say tonight, Yogi and Sean Stout put in an inordinate amount of work helping me prepare game planning, you know, analyzing, you name it. I mean, they were pouring their heart and soul into it, and it didn't go unnoticed by me, and I want to give them a lot of credit. They lived it, slept it, ate it, and breathed it for several days. We obviously wanted this game very badly. We felt like it was important for a lot of reasons, and I want to give them a lot of credit. But yeah, it was you know, when you play ranked teams there, they just by definition they're big games, and so it was very important to us.
What was the key to beating the zone after it gave you problems against USC last year?
Yeah, and that was something, you know, we felt like in the tournament, and again, I never watched the film after. I just can't watch the painful ones. I've still got games from years ago. I'm never going to turn them on. Unfortunately, I had to turn that one on. Honestly, it's the first time I've watched it since March. And down the street, you know, we had been a great zone offense team all year, if you remember last year. A great zone offense team. We just felt like you couldn't zone us. And we felt during the game that we got tight. And we, you know, as it went down, we tightened up and didn't make the key passes we needed to. That's what we felt. And then I watched the film, and I don't know if I really felt that as much. And so we made quite a few adjustments in feeling like the things that you know had worked for us all year didn't really work that well in that game. And part of it is, you know, when you play your first NCAA game ever, it's disconcerting now. I lived it, and then you get used to it and it's comfortable. So we were uncomfortable, but we also maybe, you know, looking back, there were some things we could have done, and that's what helped us here. So we tried to do that. And early in the game, they did a good job with soft press. We were a little slow getting into offense. We solved that pretty quickly. That's what turned the game around, and then they had to, you know, decide, do you want to play zone or man? And I thought we were equally effective from that point on, getting great shots. So that's what turned the game from the offensive standpoint. I thought we were amazingly poor from the free throw line, but you can't help that. But you know, if not for that, then you know maybe even the cushion would have been different earlier. But what a second half! I don't know if we played that well in a big game for a half against a team like that. I said before, say it again, I think this is one of the 5 most talented teams in America. I do. I watched them a lot. I thought that last year. A lot of people kind of fell on deaf ears, but I know a lot of NBA guys, a lot of NBA scouts, a lot of people, and they agree with me. So that makes me even more proud, because my gosh, if you were going to draft a team, you would draft that team. So tremendous effort, and just I'm so happy for our guys too. I'm really happy for all our guys, but especially, I call it 3.5 coming back. Jimmy was involved. He didn't maybe get, you know, wasn't on the court, but he felt it too. But of course not like Ben and Shake and Jeray. Not like they felt it.
Tim, have you ever used a 6'3" guy as a flash guy in the middle of the zone as opposed to a big guy?
No, I used a 5'8" guy once, but not 6'3". Yeah, just I'm not being funny. I really did. He'll say he's 5'9", but he wasn't. He was 5'8". He'll say 5'9". But you know, we try to put this one. This is one of the really fun parts of coaching to me, is to analyze all the time and figure out how to put people in the right places to accentuate their strengths, and how to get them out of places that make them look like they have weaknesses. My college coach taught me that. Jack Hartman that's what the first thing he really taught me when I got into coaching. You got to hide your weaknesses and you got to accentuate your strengths. And I've never lost sight of that, which is why the teams that we've coached, that I've coached, last year, look at how we were. We started over here and we ended up, the way we played is over here. Well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing now. We're already starting to do a number of different things than we did at the beginning, and we're turning the boat. And that's part of the real fun for me. And obviously he's great right there. You know, he can shoot it, he can drive it, he's a passer, he's got feel. It causes a problem, and you know, we're going to continue to do that.
Coach, you went to the smaller lineup with like 5 minutes to go in the first half. What do you think that did, and how big was that heading into the second half?
Really big. You know, we did in Arizona too, and I guess I'm probably not giving away a big secret. I hate to be I like to be a little close to the vest, but we are going to go back and forth. You know, we were a small lineup last year. I mean, some guys are kind of big, but they're not big, and their skill level is more like small guys than big guys, and you know, that's where Ethan is skill level of a 2-guard, but he's big, so you look bigger out there, but the skill level doesn't drop off. But you can also get really quick and small and skilled, and we'll have that ability to do that, I hope, as time goes, and as Everett and Akoi gets more healthy and in shape, and as Everett gains confidence, I hope we could also throw a little more powerful lineup at times and have those luxuries. But you guys have been watching us long enough, and kind of where I sit, you know, small seems to I always lean small. So, well, not always, but yeah, you're gonna see that. And it made a big impact in the Arizona game. Helped us win it. Helped us, without question, win this game. And you know what? You got to have tough guys. If you're going to give up inches, 3-4 inches at every spot, you know, or at least 3 spots, the big spots, you got to have some warriors, and we do. We got character. We got guys that care deeply, and they're going to fight, and they're bright. And so they make some good adjustments on the floor. They understand what we do at timeouts. They process, and you have to have all those things to just kind of make adjustments on the fly as we do, and they help. That's a big luxury for myself and my staff.
Coach Benamelo, you struggled at times last year, but kind of got it together. Tonight he was 6 for 7 field goal shooting, and hit a lot of key threes. How has his game improved this year?
I just can't see why he would miss the one. I don't know why he would miss the one shot. You know, though, Ben, for whatever reason, struggled early. It was funny, when we were practicing early last year, before the game, he was playing so good. And I know I've told the story a million times. There were 6 starters. I couldn't figure out who to start. He was playing so well. And I went to them. I said, you know, I think I'm just going to rotate you guys because you're all starters, and I know you want to start. And, you know, as selfless as he was, he said, you know what? Let everybody else start. I'll come off the bench. Now, I mean, who does that? And then that's where I'll love him forever. And he started out, for whatever reason, he kind of shot poorly for a while, but he really shot well during the conference. So he finished up, he was a 6th man. He finished up, he was an awfully good player for us last year for, I don't know, 20-some games. He just had a little bit of a slow start, but not that he's going to go 6 or 7 every night, but I have a lot of confidence in him. He looks like he has a lot of confidence in himself, and he's also got that senior urgency, you know, that I love, when it's like he sees that clock on the wall and he knows it's ticking down, and it's just a little more urgent for him. And that's why if you have a bunch of seniors, there's a lot of urgency out there on the court. You know, when you young guys, freshmen, they literally think when you're a freshman, I was guilty too, you think your career is going to be like 28 years long. And all of a sudden you look up, you're junior, like, oh my God, where did those 2 years go? But when you're a senior, you're like, man, you start counting how many practices are left, how many games are left, how many road trips are left. It's counting down. He's got the urgency, and he's been a really good leader for us.
After your last game, you talked about USC, how talented they are, and also what a veteran team it is. And you said you'd rather go into tonight with Ben Moore and Sterling Brown and Shemi Ojale. How surprised are you to be sitting here talking to us about a victory?
Very. Not a victory. No. I
Or that kind
answered
of
that
victory.
before I heard the end of your question. I should actually listen to your end of your question, but that margin, very. But I do believe in this team, and of course, when I would say that, it's because you look at last year's team, we had 6 veteran talented players, 6. We had 7 scholarship, we had 6 veteran, very talented players. Yes, we're shorthanded in numbers. Somehow, miraculously, we didn't have too many injuries that cost us. But those guys had played in so many big games. Now you come over here to this team, and you got 3 guys that have played in a lot of big games, and 4 guys that never even played in a game, and 1 that played in some games as a freshman. And so because of that, to play a team with these kind of veterans and this kind of talent, and the kind of season, they had the best record they've ever had in school history last year. These guys, this is the most wins a team ever's had in USC history. So for those guys to win with that margin, that's what surprises me. I would have never. We're not allowed to bet. I want to go on record. It's a very compliance. We don't bet. We can't bet. So, but I would never even think about that would happen. Okay, so make sure I'm on record with that. Get in trouble. I would never think about it.
Anything else? Got 1 or 2 more.
Looked like Coach took his first shot about 4 minutes left in the first half, and that was kind of when your offense got going a little bit more. Do you think there's kind of a relationship there?
Who did?
Ben Melgu. Do you think there's?
That was his first shot.
I think it was about 4 minutes left in the first half.
Well, you should have come over and told me that earlier. I didn't realize that he hadn't had one yet.
Do you think there's kind of a relationship there of when you're able to get him more shots and when your offense is better?
Yeah, it's hard. They went zone pretty quick, right? And so you can't just say in a zone, let's start getting him more shots, because maybe they're shading him, or maybe for whatever reason the guy in his area is big or clever or what. So you can't always just get guys more shots. But I will say, with the weapon that he's been for us all year, I hope he gets more shots. But I don't want to force that issue either. Sometimes if you just call a play for a guy and it's about half there, and guys will just jack up a shot because they think it's their play. I'm leery of that. He wouldn't do it, but what I'm most concerned is what it looks like in the end. And you got 16 assists and 27 baskets. We shoot 50% from the field, 50 from 3. That's what I don't really mind who shoots the most. If you're doing that, you're going to win a lot of games. In the second half, we hold them to 36% field goal, 14 from 3. You're going to win all your games when you, or all but one maybe, when you do that.
Last one, Bruce.
Coach, you had probably the best seat in the house when SMU upset 7th-ranked Cincinnati in 2014. That team was kind of relatively unknown at the time, as is this one kind of is now. What do you think a win like this early in the season does for your national perception?
Well, I hope that the combination of the Arizona game and this one says a lot. And now I'm the biggest fan in the world of Arizona and Southern Cal, of course, But I can't imagine this does not help us a great deal. But I also know that we have been nationally relevant now for a while, and so we want to continue to do that. I don't think we're surprising anyone anymore. We get A games now. 4 years ago we got a lot of B games and C games. They didn't get it, but things have changed now over time, and we're getting A games. We get everybody's A game, which I love. But how can this not help us? And we want to be in these kind of games, and we want to be recognized nationally. And I guess biggest part of that, our guys are hungry for this. I mean, that this is who they think they are, and I want them to think this is who they are. I think that's so important.